welcome back to Mandy's Planet. Today I am making white bean and ham soup. So we're going to go ahead and go over my ingredients here. I have the Great Northern white beans that I'm using. I'm using 3 pounds, so that's just 3 of those little bags. And I have some small ham steaks. There's 2 in each pack, and I have 2 packs of that. So it's 4 small ham steaks. And then we're going to have some chicken broth and some onions and some spices. So let's get started. The first step is I'm going to be dumping in all my northern white beans in this giant bowl to soak overnight. So it's going to be 3 pounds of beans soaking overnight, and I'm just going to add water. And they're going to soak for 12 hours. You only need to soak for about 8 to 10 hours, but up to 12 is okay. So I'm going to get ready to add some water in. And you want to fill your water over your beans at least 1 inch. So I have my beans sit out here. I'm going to let them sit on the stove overnight, and then when I come back in the morning to check on them, they're going to be nice and puffed up. See, everything is soaking in the water. This is one of my favorite soups. I've often eat at New Year's, but today I'm just having it. So it's 10:15 at night, and I will be right back in the morning, 12 hours later. So here we are with our beans that have soaked overnight. They look really good. And I'm going to have to drain these beans here in a minute. And it's 10:20 the next morning. So almost exactly 12 hours, just 5 minutes over. So everything looks really good. When I come back, I'll have my beans drained. So here we have the 3 pounds of the white northern beans, and they've been drained now, and I'm just going to dump them into my slow cooker pot. And this is how I'm going to cook my soup today, is in my slow cooker. These beans look great. I really cannot wait to have this. It's been a few years since I've had white beans and ham soup. So yummy. So our first step, we're going to start adding our chicken broth. You can always do this with water, but the chicken broth just adds so much flavor. And if you're using like a ham hock and you're cooking it on the stove, you would just do the water and the juice and stuff that you would get out of the ham hock. But we're not doing it that way today. We're doing this recipe a little bit different. We're going to do this my way. So I'm going to be using 2 of the giant size chicken broths, and then half of another one, because you want it to be filled over the top of your beans. I'm just going to add a little bit more chicken broth in after this. Like I said, just half a box, and we're going to get ready to go. We're going to be chopping up our ham and all that. Okay, just going to add a little bit of more of that chicken broth. And this is just the Swanson's. The other one was great value. It doesn't matter what brand you use. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So we're going to be up next with chopping up our ham. Okay, so here we have our 4 ham steaks, and I'm just going to cube these up, and I'm just showing you that's the packaging there. It's the same ham that I showed you earlier. So like I said, I'm just going to cut these into strips, and we're going to cube this up, and we're just going to put it right into the pot. You don't have to cook this ham or anything like that. This is already cooked ham. It's just going to cook in with the beans all day. So I'm just going to throw this right in, and then I'm going to chop the rest of this up and be back, and we'll throw all of the ham in. So here I have all 4 of the ham steaks, well, the remaining 3, chopped up and ready to go right into the pot here. So that looks really good, and so up next I'm going to chop up the onions, put those in, and then I will be back with the seasonings. So time to start adding our seasonings in now that we have the beans and the ham and the onions all added in with the chicken broth. We're going to be doing 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 3 teaspoons of ground garlic. I really like garlic, gives a lot of flavor. And then up next we have some Italian seasoning. You don't have to use this, you could just do like rosemary and that would be good. And then we're just going to do 2 teaspoons of the Italian seasoning. I'm going to mix this all up really well. And if you don't like all the seasonings that I put in, you can not add them or you can do your own. But most importantly, I would say do not add any salt to this because the ham has enough salt that you will not need to add any salt to this soup. So just keep mixing this up well, and then we'll be back in just a second, and we're going to add this onto our crock pot and get the heat going on it and let it cook all day. Cook in your crock pot on low for 8 to 10 hours. Just going to put the lid on, and we'll be back in a second just to check on things. So this is about 4 hours in, and it looks really good, but the beans are not quite tender yet. So just a little bit longer, another 4 hours, and everything will be done. Okay, so here we are 4 hours later, and our soup is done. This smells so good. I can't wait to have dinner. I hope that you guys try this recipe, and I'm going to add some photos here and at the end so you can see what they look like a close-up. So this is just in the crock pot, and then I'll have some in my bowl that I had for dinner. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share please to Mandy's Planet. Bye.